I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with the feeder flash for Tuesday, November the 19th, brought to you in part by VITALIX by Bimeda. Recharge your herd. VITALIX is an oral nutritional supplement of trace minerals and vitamins to aid in providing nutrients needed to support a healthy immunity and maintain health, with one less needle and a few less worries. For more information, go to BimedaUS.com. Also, Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma, for the regular feeder cattle auction here today on Tuesday, expecting around 3,000 head. Probably going to have 1,600 calves, a few more weaned every week. So they're looking at least a third of those calves being weaned this week. Over 80% of them will have at least one round of shots there. They've got several long strings in there. They've got one string of 280 calves and then about 3 different strings of 120 to 150 in each string. So you can put some calves together there and be a lot of the same calves and be really nice deals there. Gonna have another 1,400 yearlings. 500 of those will be off the Ratcliffe outfit, which you know how good those are. They'll be top quality, all black, sold in loads and weighing from 900 to probably 1050. Then they've got a few other consignments of yearlings, most of those weighing in the 7s and 8s. I don't think they have any loads of heifers, but a lot of the steers will be selling in loads there. But a really good feeder cattle offering. And then on Wednesday have 200 to 300 cows, and most of them just weigh ups and older bred cows and things like that. They wanted me to remind you that Beaver County Stockyards will not be holding any sales next week due to the Thanksgiving holiday, so they'll be closed all next week. And we also want to put Josh 9 in our prayers. Josh is very integral at Beaver County Stockyards. I mean, he's always been there, knows what's going on, especially on sale day, works the ring, knows everything that's coming in, what all it's had and everything. And just recently, and Josh is a young man, he's got a young family, he's really a great guy, and recently found out he has some really serious health problems. So we're praying for Josh here, especially as we get close to the Christmas holidays. They will not have a sale next week, but the sale after that, we're expecting going to be having a fundraiser auction there at Beaver County Stockyards. So be thinking about that. Wheat fever, and I mean, I told you guys it was coming. We knew it was coming, but it's still exciting when it does. These guys are losing their minds over these pee-wee calves, especially. Of course, a lot of guys turning bigger calves out on the wheat also, but they're especially going nuts over these pee-wees, and I'm calling pee-wees anything weighing under 4.5. And of course, there's other reasons why they're getting so wild too, is because the fat cattle market's been tumbling, and the lighter you get, the more time you got, the more options you have. And we've been seeing people buying 3-weight calves as higher than what they could buy a 500 pounder for in the upper 3s there, and we've seen quite a bit of that. But then was one thing my dad always told me. He said, them little doodlers, he used to call them, he said, you got lots of options if you have the ability to, at some point in their lifespan, you can sell those and make some money if you'll take that opportunity whenever you get it. If not, you just go on to the next opportunity. But these lightweight calves, especially in the 3s, I mean, they are just unbelievably high. Going to give you some quotes on that. This wheat is so rank. Word is out, even outside of the hard red winter wheat region, where people may not have seen it, but everybody knows what's going on. Our Midwestern corn and bean harvest is over for all intensive purposes. They finished that up, so now we've got those farmer feeders. They're getting excited about a winter project. Now they would like to get something that's foolproof, because a lot of them are not excited about doctoring calves, but then they want them to be pretty fancy. You know, they get excited about something that's really, really nice. So as we start getting more consistently colder and get a really good hard freeze on, then they'll be looking for some of those long time bigger wean calves there, high in quality and ready to go to town for them. But it's getting really deep in the fall here, and we're starting to see all the fall things that are traditional, but getting kind of excited about this wheat. I can't really ever remember a time when we've had so much fall moisture on all of our hard red winter wheat region, and it's just fantastic. I'm headed up to Kansas here and stopped in north central Oklahoma, and it just everywhere you look, it's just unbelievably rank, and you can't really tell any difference from the irrigated to the dry land. Of course, it's been so muddy they haven't had those sprinklers on for the most part, but it is just growing in waves and in clumps and really, really thick, guys. And then about everywhere you go, the water is standing out in it. Got another big rain on Monday. In Amarillo, it rained all night Sunday night, and then drove and rained all day Monday over towards Oklahoma City and north of there. So it's just wet, wet, wet all around. Talked to the guys in Beaver County stockyards, and they said that they poured over 2 inches out of their rain gauge that happened just on Monday. So just don't see that in the Oklahoma Panhandle, especially not in the middle of November, guys. But we're getting closer and closer and closer to thinking that President Trump is going to name his choice for the Secretary of Agriculture. And I'm hearing, of course this doesn't have anything to it, but I'm hearing that that Sid Miller, our Texas Ag Commissioner, is on the short list and heavily being considered. And I tell you what, and I was proud of him when he commented on the Feeder Flash. He's a Feeder Flash gang member. I mean, how many Agriculture Secretary nominees would you see that were really watching something that was that on top of the market, and something that you guys like to watch too? And I'm kind of excited about the chance that maybe Sid Miller getting in there. I was talking with some guys with U.S. Cattlemen's Association. We would be glad to see Sid Miller get in there. He has always been a participant in our Independent Cattlemen's Association of Texas convention that's usually held down in the San Antonio area. He usually comes to that. He is a great speaker. And he kind of goes along with the U.S. Cattlemen's Association and their affiliates. So yeah, we would love to see him come on, and some of the bigger outfits like Texas Cattle Feeders and Texas Southwestern Cattle Raisers and Farm Bureau have kind of brushed him off. Well, they're probably wishing that they hadn't now, as it gets highly likely that he could be the Secretary of Agriculture. But we were talking about having maybe a Miller and Miller ticket there with Brooke Miller, our past president of U.S. Cattlemen's Association right there in Virginia, a medical doctor, and has a close, tight-knit with CPAC and a lot of the conservatives there in Washington, D.C. So we would love to see something like that go on. Now, we've seen a new name pop up just recently. His name is Jimmy Emmons, and he's falling into favor in kind of a big way. And he is a regenerative agriculture guy. He lives in western Oklahoma, so you know he's got close ties to real cattle people. He's not sitting in Houston, Texas, or somewhere like that. So you know, he's all about soil health, and he knows about background in yearlings, and knows about cow-calf operations and things like that. So I'm really liking what I'm hearing that's on the short list. Now, who knows, they may pop up with somebody that couldn't tell you which end of a cow gets up first, and they'll be the pick. But I'm getting kind of excited about what I'm hearing on the short list here. Let's talk about your board for Monday to open the week. How about December live cattle futures up 115 at 184.10. February up 72 cents at 185.97, and your back months up 52 to up 155. November feeder cattle up 72 cents at 250.182, and January up 227 at 249.50, and then all your back months, in other words, your coverage prices for your LRPs were sharply higher, from $2.47 to just over $3 higher. So if you've been waiting for a good opportunity to get you a coverage price on an LRP, they've made some big gains, guys, in just the recent few trades here. But talk about your grains. December corn was up 5 1/4 cents at 429 1/4. Beans were up 11 1/4 cents at 1009 3/4. Kansas City hard red winter wheat for December up 15 1/4 cents a bushel at 555 1/4. Let's look at your weighted averages for last week's fed cattle trade, brought to you by Legacy Beef Cooperative, guys. Investing something that gives you an opportunity to slaughter cattle at a premium price, and you're also going to have partial ownership of Cattlemen's Heritage Beef. They're being constructed right there near Council Bluffs, Iowa. But last week we sold 58,600 head negotiated fed cattle in your 5-area feeding region. That compares to 43,300 the previous week, 49,800 the same week a year ago. Live prices on a cash basis negotiated in your 5-area last week ranged from 182 to 186. That was $2 to $3 lower. Weighted average on live steers, 184.79, $1.74 lower. So had to take lower prices again. Your dress trade ranged from $2.87 to $3 dress. Now we had almost 1,200 head sell at $3, but if you backed off from that, you had to back all the way off to $2.90. So I'm not really sure what was going on there, but that was $2 to $3 lower on your dress price spread, and your weighted average on dress steers was $2.29 lower than the previous week's weighted average at $290.84. As a whole, your Southern Plains, Kansas, and Texas fed cattle sold $2 lower at 185. Northern Plains was steady to $3 lower from 182 to 186, and in your dress trade from $290 to $3. But talk about nationwide, we sold 74,100 head negotiated compared to just 50,000 the previous week, and 61,700 the same week the year before. Of that 74,100 negotiated cash, we saw just over 20,000, or about 27%, for the 2 to 4 week delivery. So that's always important to keep track of whenever you know that packers are trying to get cattle bought out front to help fill their needs, so they can use that leverage against the fed cattle market. But negotiated grid sales last week were pretty heavy at 36,800. Forward contracts written last week on 15,700 head, and formula sales last week totaled 243,100 head. Of the 4 out of 5 regions that we get information from, negotiated, Iowa sold 26,600 head, Nebraska sold 23,300 head, Kansas just 5,800, and Texas only 2,900. You go back east, a fat cattle auction they had on Monday, New Holland Sales Stables, they had top quality fat steers selling from 193 to 204. So that'd be a huge premium to what's going on in the middle part of the country, negotiated cash. Box beef cutout values, huge gains on your choice cuts. So if we're blaming all this fat cattle pressure we've had the last 2 or 3 weeks on your choice cuts, on Monday, choice cutout values gained $3.94 at 307.28. Selects were down 69 cents at 275.45. You talk about your slaughter to start the week, just 118,000, which is disappointing, but it's still 6,000 better than the previous week and 9,000 lighter than the same week a year ago. as I told you, driving up through Oklahoma. Going to be giving a presentation on Tuesday evening in Strong City, Kansas for ESB Financial. So looking forward to meeting those people and giving a presentation to them. And then hurry up and head over Wednesday morning to be the guest auctioneer at the special feeder cattle auction at Springfield Livestock Marketing Center in Springfield, Missouri, which is a DVAuction broadcaster there. Got a lot of nice calves on offer this Wednesday. Get on there and listen to me part of the time and buy some calves there. Or better yet, show up. They're going to have free lunch there. It's Customer Appreciation Day and a special calf sale. So looking forward to that. Talk about what else is going on. If you guys like to watch the feeder flash, but you're not picking it up as quick as you would like to, you can pick it up really fast if you just text the word flash to 209 Corbett or 209-267-2488. Just text the word flash to that number and they will automatically have the link to the feeder flash sent to you every business day. All you'd have to do is open up your text messages, click on that, and you'll be watching the feeder flash. And reach down there and hit that subscribe when you get on to YouTube. You guys that watch it on YouTube, we passed 19,000 subscribers over the weekend, and I'd like to see how close we could get to 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's not going to cost you anything. It doesn't change anything other than when you open YouTube, feeder flash will come up a little bit quicker. But reach down there and hit that subscribe button if you would. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DVAuction ended the day on Monday after all your Monday sales at $254.01. That was up $1.92. So big gains there. It helped more to drop Monday off of last week there. Anyway, big gains on Monday on your real-time index. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index lagging behind at 252.31. Talk about your big sales, and there was a lot of big commodity sales, and that's another reason that uptrend on your RTI was so impressive, because we had so many big commodity sales. Oklahoma National Stockyards in Oklahoma City had 8,000 head. Feeders were mostly steady. Big calves were mostly steady. I told you, these feeders and these big calves kind of hit a wall in the southern plains. Now they're continuing to get higher up in farmer feeder country. But in the southern plains, they've just hit a wall because they absolutely will not pencil out. Now your peewee calves, which we talked about earlier, you got all kinds of time on them, so you don't have to worry as much. Your peewee calves in Oklahoma City were $10 higher. Joplin Regional Stockyards had 9,100. That's a lot more than they were expecting, but the market was going to be good. It was a pretty day, even though it's still muddy around. Guys were able to get cattle out. The market was kind of uneven. As a closer look, I looked at your NationalBeefWire automated market report, and it appeared that your steers were mostly higher, especially your peewee steers. Of course, they were like $15 higher, and your heifers, a lot of them were a touch lower. But Joplin was your NationalBeefWire stickout sale of the day, just to give us a market test in the lower Midwest there. How about 460 head of the 4-weight steers? They average 460 pounds at 310.42. 881 head of 5-weight steers average 548. Weighted average price 276.73. Nearly 1,100 head of 6-weight steer calves in Joplin. They average 645 at 261.93. 1,414 head of 7-weight steers. Be a lot of light yearlings in that bunch there. They averaged 747 and averaged almost as much as the 6-weights at 261.47 because they were mostly yearlings. 1,261 head of the 8-weight steers in Joplin averaged 834 at 248.87. Look at some heifers. How about 595 head of 4-weight heifer calves averaged 456 at 266.63. There were 977 head of the 5-weight heifers. Carthage, Missouri, at Joplin Regional Stockyards, they averaged 549 at 246.55. 695 head of 6-weight heifers averaged 650 pounds at 239.20, and 725 head of 7-weight heifers averaged 746 pounds at 233.41. The most impressive individual quote that I saw come out of Joplin on Monday was 219 head of 760 pound feeding steers. They bring 274 smooth. Wow. How about some other individual quotes from all around? How about Aberdeen livestock sales? That's my buddy Kevin Larson, and he was down at Santa Teresa over the weekend or late last week, and I always enjoy visiting with him. We had a good time cutting up there over the couple of days we were together there, and he had a big time quote come out of his sale barn in Aberdeen, South Dakota, was 76 steers, weighed 707 pounds, bring 296. Be pie-eating corn farmers likely to give that big price there, as he would say. How about Callaway Livestock Center in Kingdom City, Missouri? Jack Harrison sells 120 steers. They weigh 874 and bring 264. Big time quote there. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Monday, your Macrison No BS top quote for the day. I'm cheating a little bit. I usually won't quote less than 50 head in a bunch, but these 3-weight calves are getting so high you just can't get enough of them put together, and that's another reason. The biggest string we've seen of them was out in Nevada on last Friday, and we saw 50 head of little 3-weight calves, and they bring $4.54, I believe, $4.54. But how about Winter Livestock in La Junta, Colorado? They had some 3-weight calves in there. Now, threw them all together, there were 67 head of them. They weighed 362 on the average, with an average price of $444.75. Marty Nugelbauer tells me he sold one package, just about 10 head of them though. They weighed 325 and bring $495. Almost $5 a pound, guys, for lightweight 3-weight calves there. And that's your feeder flash for Tuesday.